Hi everyone, I am the Sarcastic Sloth, and welcome to my channel. So today is a follow-up video to my previous video earlier this week in which I discussed the controversy that Nikki and Dan Phillippi found themselves in. I still don't know if that's how you pronounce their last name. I still don't care, quite frankly. And the controversy was in which they ended the life of their dog of 9 years, Bowser. There are a few things that sort of on hindsight that I thought about, and a few things I found out just after the event of doing my video about them. There were a couple of thoughts that popped up in regards to their video that I didn't get round to speaking about. I'll be discussing that just as sort of like a quick follow-up, like a part 2 as it were. So without further ado, let's crack on. As per usual, everything I'm going to be discussing today are my own thoughts and opinions on the topic, and if you do not like that, ta-ra! Something that was brought to my attention that I did overlook to begin with was I thought that Bowser was Dan's dog prior to him and Nikki forming a relationship and getting married and whatnot. It was actually brought to my attention by a comment that was made on my video. They were just pointing it out, it wasn't anything derogatory at all. They say it in the video and I sort of overlooked it, where Bowser is 9, they've been together for over a decade. Usually, I mean, I was going off the mentality of sometimes it's a case where a couple gets together and one of them has a pet and the other person might weirdly become jealous of that pet. I mean, it does happen. It's not a crazy thought to have, and I thought that was maybe a small portion as to why Nikki felt the need to erase Bowser from the situation, as well as him, I mean, in my opinion, becoming a nuisance to them in terms of having to move and many other things that we discussed in the last video. Again, go and have a look at that if you dare. I thought that there was maybe that kind of situation there, and that was maybe like a catalyst, and then the things that occurred during the course of the years of them both being around Bowser led up to wanting to have Bowser put down. But no, but then he was always referred to as Dan's dog. So I just find that a bit weird, if I'm being quite frank. I thought that was pretty strange. She's been around for longer than Bowser has, but yet never really formed the same kind of bond. Bowser always referred to in the videos as well as Dan's dog, even though she says, we both loved him, but he was Dan's dog, you know. I think you'll remember that if you watch the video itself. That was something that was pointed out that I thought was pretty weird. A creepy aspect of things as well that came up were these Instagram posts. So on the last day, or on the day before Bowser being put down, they felt the need to have this bizarre Instagram photo shoot, because, you know, if it's something like that, you might as well stick it on the gram and get a bunch of likes for it. It's just bizarre. And then she actually put this statement: McTrowson, I'm so grateful for our time with you. You were a mini horse, a shark, a bear, a mouse, a dinosaur, and Dan's best friend all in one. Again, Dan's best friend. You made me laugh, you made me cry, you destroyed our property, and you also kept it safe. Lol. You kept me feeling safe. Bowser was the ultimate cuddle bug, but you wouldn't necessarily know that if you just dropped by our house. He just acted crazy. Well, Bowser had an aggressive side that reared its ugly head a few times over the years, and recently he bit Logan. After a lot of counsel, we decided it was time for Bowser to pass peacefully on. I know a lot of you will be shocked to hear this. My brain is still shocked. McTrowson has been a part of our life and content his entire life, and for the last 9 years of our marriage. We didn't want to make this decision, as I'm sure you can imagine. I'm not kidding when I say this was one of the saddest days of my life. That being said, I'm so grateful we got to hold him and kiss him in our home while he passed. I will be uploading a video tonight with more of the story if you want to know. We will miss you forever, Bowser. Do you know what's wild to me is, like, I said it in my video previously about their video, was just the amount of inconsistencies that she crops up again and again and again. Oh, he's wonderful, he kept me safe, the biggest snuggle bunny in the world, but then he also had a dark side. It was like, this to me says that the dog's overall demeanour was that of a lovely dog from the sounds of it, and he certainly looks it from what I've seen. I'd say that personally, and this is coming from someone who's owned dogs for a large portion of his life, I feel that this is all down to shitty ownership on their part. I feel this is all down to convenience. I feel that they wanted to move, and moving him, they said in particular, was an issue. Why would you put down a perfectly healthy dog? I mean, even though she's saying that there was an incident and that he had an aggressive side, when you actually watch their video, I had to rewatch it a couple of times because I was trying to suss out where the big aggressive incident was. And it just turned out that because the kid tried to steal some of his food, that he ended up lashing out and did a little scratch on his face. It's like, how many people who have pets have found themselves being scratched by their pet when they've gotten on the wrong side of them? I mean, I just find this bizarre. Again, you need to, I don't know, that ship has sailed, the dog is gone at the end of the day, but I just wanted to highlight again that she is just full of contradictions, and it's more about content for her. And the reason why I say this, Bowser's not the first one this has happened to, but we'll get to that in a little second. Before I leave Bowser as the subject and we move on to the sketchiness that is Nikki in general, I say Nikki primarily because I feel like she is the driving force of the channel, and that Dan is just sort of like there. He's sort of like just nothing to me. Like whenever I've watched anything, he's just sort of there, and he's just like, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, to Nikki. One thing I wanted to point out, and it's something that's been brought up, and I actually pointed it out in my last video as well, is how bad of an actress she is. For 20 something minutes, she fails completely to make it seem like she really cares about Bowser. And it's not even until the point where Dan has to leave the room, because I feel like he was more concerned for Bowser than she was. Obviously, she's the one saying that he is his best friend, but she has to do this thing where she has to look through pictures of Bowser and read things out about Bowser to instigate her, like, crying. And I feel that this is down to, she used to be an actress, not a good one mind you, but she used to be an actress no less. I'll pop up the thing now just so you can see. And it's like, you couldn't even pretend to care about this dog who had such a big part to play in your life, apparently, that you loved him so much, and he was always there for you, and he was just like a big clown and a horse and a whatever the hell else she said. But yet you just couldn't even pretend to care without the prop that was looking at pictures and sort of instigating yourself to cry. Another inconsistency is that she said that she contacted the Humane Society, so in Nashville. I'll pop up the thing here, but it's saying that they haven't received any word from her in regards to the case of Bowser and what they should do. But this doesn't surprise me. This doesn't surprise me at all. Here's the thing, she's so transparent. I say this in my videos and in my streams and on my Twitter as well, and no one seems to sink it in now. And no one seems to sink it in, especially the people who should be heeding it. But the people who think they are the slyest are always the most transparent. Always! The reason why they're always transparent is because they think they're sly. They're not actually sly. People who are actually sly, you never fucking hear about them, okay? But people who think they're sly, it's almost like they're so impressed with themselves, with their own perceived slyness, that they have to always, like, leave little tidbits here and there for you to pick up on, you know, much like a serial killer feels the need to sort of write into the police station to say, hey, I've done this and you will never catch me. It's sort of the same kind of lines. You can extrapolate that to any sly person that you can think of. You could probably think of some in your everyday life, to be fair. But anyway, moving on, something else that cropped up that I found quite interesting. They were going to adopt a kid from Thailand, and in the end they stopped the process because what they wanted to do was basically use this kid as a prop. Where does that sound familiar? By using the kid in their social media, because as we know with all family channels or aspiring family channels, the more pets and kids that you have, the more views that you get. So the interesting thing I found was the process in Thailand is basically over the course of the year that it takes to finalize everything. You're not allowed to take photos and put them up on the internet or use them in any kind of social media. It's for the kid's own protection at the end of the day. Well, they squash this with a quickness because they're not able to use the child in their social media. Again, I just sort of wanted to paint a bit of a picture. If you were maybe caught up in that video, if maybe you were, maybe if her acting skills somehow worked on you, I don't know how they did, but maybe if they did. Just realise that this is a person who, her family is a business, and this is the same with all those family channels. The family is a business, their pets are part of a business, they're commodities, the kids are commodities, and the more that they have, the more views and clicks that they get, because that's just unfortunately how things work at this point. Before we get to a point where, and I've said this before in a previous video, we're going to have like a generation of messed up family channel kids coming through, and people are going to start pointing fingers then. Maybe someone will actually listen, you know, at that point in time. It's disheartening at the end of the day, especially when people are so transparent, yet they're still able to get away with these things. They'll have enough fans to sort of see them through this. That's the thing that happens with a lot of these channels where they've got millions of subscribers. It's almost like a safety padding around them from being totally cancelable. You see it with a lot of people in that kind of situation. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you like the video and you enjoy the channel. And as per usual, stay safe out there.